Hello, beautifuls. This is Atleen, and I'm coming to you with another video. In this video, we will be discussing Chapter 13, LAN Architecture, and it will be Network Fundamentals. And we will be discussing the 3-tier architecture. And then we will go over, do I know this already? Quiz. And in this chapter, chapter 13, it has questions 1 to 6. Cisco for many years had made use of their 3-tier architecture. And their 3-tier architecture breaks down into the access, the distribution, also known as the building distribution, and the core layer. The access layer is also most times called the wiring switch, wiring closet layer. And the reasoning behind this is like, say you have an office floor with cubicles with RJ45 connections in the wall, and you're plugging it into your local RJ45 connector port, and it will run back to the wiring closet. So in the wiring closet, you're going to have switches, and there's going to be a patch panel where those wires coming from a cubicle, they get plugged in to the switch. Access layer. This is the distribution layer, and this is the core. This could be building 1, access layer, distribution, and this is the core. Could be building 2 and building 3. And I'm showing right here the page is 294. So at the access layer, this is where end users are plugged in. So I'm going to give you the definition of access layer. Access provides a connection point, access, for end user devices, does not forward frames between two other access switches under normal circumstances. And that's where end users are plugged in. Again, the access right here, access. However, let's say in a building with several floors, how do we interconnect all the switches on all the floors? Well, most likely we have a big switch. We have a distribution layer, and there we have dual connections via dual switches. So once one distribution layer switch goes down or one link goes down, staff can still get to everyone. So that's a great benefit. And this is the distribution. And I'll give you the definition on page 295. And the distribution provides an aggregation point for access switches, providing connectivity to the rest of the devices in the LAN, forwarding frames between switches, but not connecting directly to end user devices. Again, this is the distribution. Above access, distribution, D, distribution. However, distributionally, we will have more powerful switches, and it's going to collect all those the wiring closet access layer switches within the building. On a campus, the best way to connect together via core layer. The core layer is going to group together the distribution layers. This is the core layer. Definition of a core layer. The core aggregates distribution switches in very large campus LAN, local area networks, providing very high forwarding rates for the larger volume of traffic due to the size of the network. The core layer is going to group together the distribution. The core layer is going to group together the distribution layers. So this is the basics of Cisco 3-layer model. And I'm going to cut this video short today so I could just do this chapter in bits and pieces so no one gets overwhelmed. So the topology design terminology is the access switch is right here, access switch. And then we have access switch star, and uplinks partial mesh. See how it's access layer, the bottom layer, to distribution is like a mesh. And if you've never seen a mesh or a star, here's a star topology. And here's a mesh. This is a mesh. As you can see, the access layer goes to the end users. And then the access layer goes to distribution, which is a mesh, uplinks. All right, so let's go over, do I know this already? We're not going to go over 10 minutes today. And tomorrow we'll go over a two-tier architecture. All right, so let's go to, do I know this already? Number 2 and 3 applies to what we discussed today. So number 2 states, in a 3-tier campus LAN design, which of the following are typically true of the topology design? Choose 2 answers. And the answers is A and C. In a 3-tier campus LAN design, the design uses a partial mesh of links between access and distribution switches, and the design uses a partial mesh of links between the distribution and core switches, which is what we just seen. And I'll show you again. So this is the mesh topology between access and distribution, which is what it was asking. And then the access switch has star. And then uplinks partial mesh. So again, it states, in a 3-tier campus LAN design, typically true of the topology design, the design uses a partial mesh of links, which is what I just showed you. We just looked at that again, between access and distribution switches. And the design uses a partial mesh of links between the distribution and core switches. Number 3, which one answer gives the strongest match between one part of a typical 3-tier design with the idea behind the listed generic topology design term? and it's going to be D. The access layer looks like a star design. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and I wish you well. See you tomorrow.